The 2023 NBA draft just concluded, and yet again this year was full of surprises. The Hornets selected Brandon Miller, maybe not so much of a surprise. Scoot went to Portland, leaving their franchise in all kinds of different directions, and two twins were drafted back to back. Cool stuff for sure. And while this is all exciting, it's even more fun to find players who are gonna outperform their draft stock in the future, 10 years down the line. And boy, there are a lot of guys in this draft that have huge potential to be doing that. How's it going, my friend? I'm Alexander from Load Management Media, and here are 3 guys who are total steals in the 2023 NBA draft. Just to clarify, these are the 3 biggest steals in the draft. I have some other under the radar guys that I think could outperform their draft stock, so let me know if you guys want to see that video in the comments down below. So number 1, as obvious as it is, Cam Whitmore is my first steal of the draft. How he dropped to 20th overall, I will never know. The Rockets bagged Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore without having to trade a single piece. Good on them, it's going to be fantastic for their future. Cam Whitmore is a 6'7" wing out of Villanova, and at only 18 years old, he's got all the tools to succeed in the NBA. Whitmore already has a completely NBA-ready frame. He's 6'7" and is like 230 pounds, so he doesn't need to put on any NBA weight. He's already got that from day one. His greatest ability is his athleticism, just bullying defenders and getting to the rim so strongly, but he's also even got a bit of a 3-ball as well. He's shot, I believe, 40% on catch and shoot jump shots, which is really impressive for a guy who already has those kind of physical tools. And his jump shot will only continue to develop, as will his defense on the other side of the ball, because he's got the perfect frame to continue to keep going and developing. Apparently why Cam dropped so low from the number 5-ish range where he was projected was because he didn't have great team interviews and team workouts. But honestly, I don't care. If you look at the film and everything he brings, I don't even care if he curses out your mom, he's gotta go top 10. That's how good he is. With Houston, he could really be a good fit if they do a little bit of reshaping to their roster, but regardless, even if they don't, at number 20, he's unbelievable value and he was worth the upside swing. Another guy who I think could be a huge steal is former Ohio State forward Bryce Sensibaugh. Sensibaugh is a 6'6" forward who was drafted 28th overall by the Utah Jazz, and he's got a lot of potential to be just a pure scorer in the NBA. Sensibaugh was the best per minute scorer in college last year, and he's got all the tools to be able to score in the NBA at a high level. 3-level scorer, he can get to his pull-up in the mid-range, create out to 3 with a decent handle, and he's 235 pounds, pretty athletic, so he can get to the rim and draw fouls with not too much hesitation. It's pretty easy for him. Really, the only downside with Bryce is that he can't play a lick of defense, and his playmaking still needs some improvement, but that's okay. He's got some things he can develop, and I believe he will, especially in Utah. Luckily for him, the Jazz already have a bunch of playmakers already, like Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, and they already have a bunch of defenders as well, Ochai Agbaji, Walker Kessler, and now Taylor Hendricks, so his weaknesses are all shored up. He can just focus on doing what he does best, which is scoring the basketball. And to start, it'll be likely off the bench, so he's not going to have too much pressure, which is a perfect spot for him. And in Utah, with a strong offensive coach like Will Hardy, who's already shown what he can do in 1 year in the NBA, I think Sensibaugh can develop into one of the best scorers in this entire 2023 NBA draft. But probably my favorite steal in this entire NBA draft is Gigi Jackson. Gigi Jackson is a 6'9" forward out of South Carolina who was drafted 45th overall by the Memphis Grizzlies. And in Memphis, he could really develop into a two-way machine with proper development from the Grizzlies front office and coaching staff. Gigi is someone who actually reclassified up to play college this year. That meant that he was 17 years old playing in college for parts of the season, and he only just turned 18 in December. So he's super young, super raw, but he's got tons of potential and tons of time to figure it out. There's a few different reasons why he slid down in the draft from around the early first round where he was projected to go. He wasn't very efficient in college this year, so that left scouts with a bit of question marks in terms of how his game is going to translate in the NBA. He was pretty selfish as well. A lot of times he was saying things about his coaches and teammates even on Instagram Live. And he also didn't have many great pre-draft workouts or interviews with teams. But if you see the college tape and you see the frame and everything he's got to offer, there's a huge reason to pick him, especially at 45. Gigi has the ability to do pretty much everything scoring-wise on the offensive end. He's a 3-level guy. He's got a super smooth pull-up, super smooth 3-point jumper and handle to match, and he can get to the rim pretty well. He's got a decent frame already at 18 years old. And although he showed pretty much nothing defensively in college, he does have a pretty good frame, so I think that's something he can develop, especially on a team that focuses so much on defense, which is Memphis. As I mentioned before, Gigi had some attitude problems before, but he was super young in college, leading a team in South Carolina in one of the toughest divisions in all of college basketball, and it seems like he's matured quite a bit since then, and he'll be just fine. And the Grizzlies have had such a great track record in recent years of developing young guys, and in my opinion, Gigi's going to be no different. He's going to be another one of the Grizzlies' young guns. Memphis is still trying to compete, but at this late in the draft, swinging on some upside on a guy like Gigi is probably the perfect thing for them to do, especially considering it's a position of need. Gigi could be that scoring wing in time that the Grizzlies have been desperately looking for so long. And with a chip on his shoulder, considering how far he fell on draft night, I think he's gonna really develop in Memphis. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. These are just some of the biggest steals in the draft. Some of them are a bit more obvious, but I do have some other guys who are under the radar that could still provide great value for NBA teams, so let me know if you want to see those as well. If you want to see some more consistent original NBA content, then this is the place for you. I'll be putting out at least one new piece of NBA content a week, so if that interests you, consider hitting a like and a sub. And as always, stay rested. See you in the next one.